I'm Corbett Wall with DB Auction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, February the 24th, brought to you in part by Beefmaster Breeders United. Beefmaster cattle excel in economic traits known as the 6 essentials: weight, conformation, milk production, fertility, hardiness, and disposition. You're invited to the Ozark and Heart of America Beefmaster Marketing Group Field Day on March the 13th near Neosho, Missouri. You can learn a lot more about Beefmaster breeding, and you can also view the bulls that will be on sale for the April 10th sale at the Springfield, Missouri Livestock Marketing Center. For more information, go to beefmasters.org. Temperatures rebounded as we got into this week and early in the week already, and in some places we've seen as much as a 90-degree Fahrenheit swing in a week. And you think, how does it do that? Well, you're below zero a week ago on Tuesday, and then on this Tuesday you're 90 degrees or 85 or whatever it is, but a 90-degree swing. And it was that way in places in Oklahoma, it's that way places in Texas. I'm here in South Texas, Bernie, Texas, going in Tuesday night late to take the pigs into San Antonio Stock Show. And I tell you what, 75, 80 degrees and just, and almost uncomfortably warm there. But sure is nice that that warm sunshine feels pretty good on your shoulders after it's been pretty cold out. And Texas is still kind of slow to recover from this. Yeah, the temperatures have recovered, but talking to some of these other guys around and some of your sale barns, some sale barns still not open. In Central Texas, some of them open but having smaller runs. And some of your buyers not too fired up about getting in on some cattle. A lot of people are out of water. It's not just in your residential areas, although that is the biggest part of it. And a lot of this is by the blame of the people that were building all these cookie cutter houses that you see in Central Texas, South Texas, and places. They've used shallow ditches. Their foundation's really shallow, and then they put most of the plumbing up in the attic. Well, that's a recipe for disaster. You would have thought at some point we were going to have some pretty cold temperatures. You didn't see this kind of stuff happening up in the Panhandle where I live because we're prepared for colder weather. But a lot of residential area homes in bad shape and busted pipes, and evidently they don't have enough plumbing supplies to go around, but be money to be made for people that are good at doing that. But also heard that it's getting bad, or it is bad, in the rural areas. A lot of people depend on rural water in Central Texas, and that's pipes running out in the country there, and they tap into that. A lot of them don't have wells, or maybe they're in a spot where they wouldn't get much if they drilled a well. But I've heard of one deal where they had rural water, a guy depending on rural water for his home and also to water his cattle, and like 50 breaks in that rural water line, from the 60 or 80 miles that it had to go from its source. You're in big trouble then. I mean, there's no telling when you're going to get any water. And there's a lot of deals like that, and just people not real fired up about getting going again, as you're having a hard time getting things back going again. But some other news that happened on Tuesday or it happened over the weekend. We saw that Bruce Bass passed away, 72 years old, in Iowa there, and over the weekend I believe he passed away on Saturday. And I tell you what, he was an icon in the business, and I know we're pretty guilty of being hard on the Packers, and he was big with IBP procurement, which IBP turned to Tyson. But back when IBP was the big dog, he was the main procurement man there, and never met him myself, but heard a lot of stories about a lot of deals that he did. But for the most part, your feeders, your cattle feeders, your feedlot people viewed Bruce as a formidable foe, if you will. And he was a deal maker. He worked with feedlots real closely back whenever it seemed like they were both in the same business, which was beef. now it's kind of been, the hand's been tipped, and we see that the packers indeed are in the beef business, and your feedlots and your producers are in the cattle business. But back when Bruce was the big dog there at IBP, it seemed like they were kind of pulling in the same direction, although he was going to make the best deal for himself. And in today's world, it kind of seems like we have a faceless, nameless person that we're trying to deal with, and we're always getting the raw end of the deal because you're just dealing with a corporate table or something like that, just trying to keep your board members happy. But Bruce Bass was kind of the face of the Packer back in those days, and we hate it and feel for his family and friends there. But we're in the heart of bull sales season right now, I tell you what. And then they had the bad weather, blizzards up north, and really bad temperatures. And then you get down in parts of Texas and places, they weren't able to have theirs, weren't able to get them videoed. So everything's just been crammed up into a really small spot. In fact, I'm not going to be even able to watch the girls show their livestock at San Antonio. Going to be catching a flight out to Oregon to work the sale for Lorenzen Ranches out there. It's going to be Thursday the 5th out there at Madras, Central Oregon sales there. And they've got a nice offering there: 125 red Angus bulls, 55 red composite bulls, 60 yearling heifers, 30 April bred cows, and 40 commercial 2-year-old pairs there. And all of them cattle have been running out up there in the open in Oregon. So if you guys get a chance to get on dvauction.com on Thursday. I'm sorry, that sale is on the 25th. This coming Thursday here on the 25th. How about let's look at your board on Tuesday, February. Live cattle futures down a dime at 115.62. April down $1.85, 120, 120. Going out from there, and they were all down 60 cents to down $1.12. March feeder cattle down 75 cents at 138.57. April down 67 at 142.60. Going out from there, your out fronts on feeder cattle down 87 to down 135. So kind of a downer, and we've heard that some outfits are saying that the board on these late summer and fall contracts have kind of topped out. So you might want to think about that a little bit. Of course, that just puts more pressure on the market. If guys go ahead and react to that news. But it seemed like we had so much that we were shooting for, and like normal, it's fading away on us as we get to it. And I was reminded that that's not an oasis, that's a mirage. So thanks for straightening that out for me. How about your fat cattle trade? Just a little sprinkling of trade. 500 or 600 in Iowa, 500 or 600 in Nebraska, confirmed on Tuesday, all at 181 dressed. We didn't see anything in Kansas. Texas did see the results of the Texas cash pool, and had about 1,000 head on there, so that's nothing to sneeze at, and that's better than what they were doing several weeks before. Of course, they were froze up last week and didn't have a cash pool, but the results come in. They had several bids from packers, and the winning bid was 114.05. So, pretty much steady was what we had last week, but, steady is not the worst thing in the world. But didn't see any results, or don't know if they had any Kansas cash pool there, but evidently not, because I did not see the results of that. Don't know where they stand on that. But let's look at your box beef cutout values. They were a pinch higher, and I tell you what, these packers have boosted their margins, and with the exception of the gouging that went on last year at this time, were really at historic levels of packer margins for this time of year, as they were able to keep cattle from getting any higher, and they were able to boost their wholesale prices, during a time of the year where normally they aren't able to do that. And now we're going into the beginning of the buying for spring grilling season. Man, have they got things lining up for them. Look at your choice cuts on Tuesday afternoon, 240.29, that's up 31 cents. Select 230.53, and that's up 53 cents. Let's say, what else is going on around? Actually, let's talk about your slaughter first. Your slaughter has rebounded also, just like the temperatures. 241,000 just through Tuesday. That's 71,000 better than last week so far at this point, and 1,000 more than the same week a year ago. So they're going to step those back up. Everybody's back cranking again. Probably have a big Saturday. That's kind of what we need after being short on our slaughter last week because of the cold temperatures, and just need to. And we've kind of gotten past all that. Maintenance and things that they were doing, so we're getting back up in full swing there. Now, what else is going on? Beaver Red Angus. Don't forget their sale coming up. It's going to be Thursday, March the 4th, Leola, South Dakota. You can go on the ranch and watch the sale. You can go on to dvauction.com, view and bid that sale right there. Got 50 years of experience, and I tell you what, they've got a really good reputation. You guys want to get in on creating some of these Red Angus replacement quality heifers? I tell you what, they're about the hottest thing going. On the commercial side, which they don't have to be have papered and everything, but you need some really top genetics if you want to create some of those. You can get that with Beaver Red Angus. They've got 275 yearling Red Angus bulls to sell. Thursday, March the 4th, right there. You can go to beaverredangus.com, or you can get on to dvauction.com, hunt up their sale, go in there, look at their online catalog, watch all the videos, look at the pedigrees, and do a little shopping on there so you kind of know what you want to do before the sale on Thursday, March the 4th. Talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DV Auction. Late in the afternoon on Tuesday, 139.42. Down 85 on your index level. That's based on an 800-pound steer. But everybody I talked to and all the sales that I saw, mostly in the Midwest and Northern Plains, they've gotten back to business, and most all your markets were higher and selling along at a pretty good clip. But when you get heavier receipts in there and you get more sales from the Southern Plains going in there, it's going to pull your index levels down a little bit, and that's what's going on. But look at some individual quotes about Miles City Livestock Commission, Miles City, Montana. 89 head, 626-pound steer calves, bring 164.75. Wow, it's a big time quote there. How about one of our favorite sales that had a really good one? Kimball Livestock Exchange, Kimball, South Dakota. They had a big sale last week. Another good sale this week, about 3,000 head on offer as of the time I pulled their market report. It looked like the best tested weights of feeder steers were $1 to $2 lower, but man, they had that whale of a sale last week, and they were one of the few sales that were open in that part of the country, so they were able to benefit from that. But man, they still had some really stick out deals. And if you look at this automated market report from Cattle Market Central through DV Auction, look at the best tested weights of steers. 813 head of the 7-weight steers, average 750 at 146.20, about $2 off on your weighted average price, but still pretty darn respectable. How about 948 head of the 8-weight steers, averaged 849 at 136.77. That was close to $1.50 off your weighted averages from last week. But look at some of your quotes there. 129 head, 704-pound steer calves at Kimball, South Dakota, bring 158.10, weighing over 7 there, guys. Big time quote. But the best quote that I saw anywhere, and your Zach Tran top quote for the day, also come out of Kimball Livestock Exchange. 145 head, 810-pound feeder steers, bring 143.10. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.